Hey y'all, I'm Kristen.
And I'm Bailey.
Welcome to Livin on a Prayer.
We're two best friends who are here to keep it real and relatable.
Through life's hills and valleys, we're here to remind you we're all just living on a prayer.
Are you yawning? Am I already
yawning.
boring you? You're on your phone. We are filming an episode right now.
We are filming an app, but you know what?
Who is she texting?
My other friends.
You have other friends?
I might.
Thought it was just me and you till the world goes down, sister.
Is the world going down?
He's coming back. Jesus is
Okay,
coming back.
let me tell you this.
Welcome back. Now she's hold on, she's ready. She's off the phone. She's ready. Welcome to another episode of Living on a Prayer Pod.
But this is going to spiral us into what we're chit-chatting about today. Right. The media. Okay.
The freaking media.
The freaking media, social media.
All the medias.
As good as it can be, it's like double as bad.
It's bad.
It can be bad.
And good. Yeah.
All about your consumption. Anyway, I just... I'm not super educated on this, but like I'm just going to tell you what I think.
This is what Kristen said. Before we started, she said, this episode's not going to be long because I'm not educated on this. So
I said educated enough.
So we're just having a quick chat.
You said he's coming back. Like the world is ending. Jesus is coming back. One of my friends is about to go on vacation. And she told me 2 days ago that she had to delete TikTok off of her phone because she is so terrified, which we all know that there are really crazy, sad things happening in the world right now. Like the attack in New Orleans. Horrible.
Horrifying.
The snowstorm, the blizzard, the everybody being trapped, like
just a lot.
Like that. The fires happening. That's all happening like literally right now. And so she is going out of the country, and she told me the other day that she's had to delete TikTok. She's really nervous because she said if you look up online what's the world going to be like in 2031 on TikTok, it says that the world will be over.
Okay. TikTok knows nothing. Like, do people believe that?
I don't know. And then my sister called my mom last night and told us that we shouldn't go out of town next week because the place we're going is owned by this person and this is happening there and we shouldn't get on an airplane and we all need to go move to a farm. She found all this out on TikTok.
TikTok is not healthy.
But TikTok, Instagram, but even the news, like we hear what
the news is
I'd
just
say they want us to hear. Who is they?
We don't know, but they are they. And the news is like old people's TikTok. All right. Sorry if that's offensive. Aaron watches the news and he's technically old to me. But the news is just filling you with nonsense.
But also some truth.
Yeah, but it's never like good. It's never like good truth. It's like scary truth. Like truth that's going to put fear in you. Kind of truth. It's not like happy, peaceful news.
I don't know. I would debate that. I think that
I don't watch the news, so I don't know if it's happy.
The bulk of it, it's like 1/4 good news of what's going on and rejoicing on certain things, and 3/4 things we just need to be aware of and worried about to make decisions accordingly.
Okay, so me and some of the girls at the salon literally yesterday were having these like similar conversation about like your friend who said she had to delete TikTok because of like the fear it was instilling in her. And one of the girls actually two of the girls at all times are pregnant at the salon basically, but I have two right now who are pregnant and we were just talking and one of them was saying like, you hear people say like, God's coming back. The end times are near. And she's like, I'm pregnant. Like the end times are near. I didn't even get to have my baby. And I'm like, see, it all like they've been saying that forever. God is coming. The end times are near. And we got really like into this conversation. I was like, first of all, we cannot live fear-based. We cannot live being like, what if the end times are coming?
No, we don't know when he's coming.
We have no idea.
We just have to live our lives to the best of our abilities and to our fullest potential. And when it ends, it ends.
Right. And like it was...
And we can't wait till tomorrow to do the right thing.
Right.
You got to do it
It's today. Today is what you have. So if you can just focus on today. You not yesterday, not tomorrow, today. That is what you have. And so I was like, you can't live like that. I used to be like, I remember, I don't know who I was pregnant with, but hearing same thing, like people being like, the end times are near. And I remember having that fear of like, will I not even get to have this baby? Will I not, like, because people are so like serious and about it, you know? And even those kind of conversations instill fear in people, even though it's the truth. Like, he will come back and the world will stop, whatever that looks like. But it's like, we can't live every day like worried. So if deleting TikTok and deleting Instagram and that like gives you that peace to not be having fear about, it could be anything. Like literally we both were talking about how Instagram makes us so anxious for what? Like, I'm on there scrolling.
And as good as it can be for myself or my business or for me to learn new recipes or new hacks or new
there's so much information
yeah, there's
the
so
internet.
much information. So like
even on TikTok, the kids say it's the new Google.
It is. You can find more stuff out like that you want to know that's relevant to today, I feel. But it's like as much good as we can find from it, there's just as much evil and negativity and fear on it. And you know, sometimes I will say, I will own this, and I feel like I say this a lot, but like sometimes a lot of the stuff I consume, it's not what that person is putting out as the person that's posting it or putting it out there. It's more of a me problem.
That's it.
As the consumer, I'm getting like comparative.
That's it.
And judgmental of myself, or obviously we're human beings. Like I get jealous of people.
Jealousy, triggered even just like I get jealous all the time. Yeah. On Instagram.
Like, look how great they're doing, or look at the client they got, or oh my gosh, I've been wanting those shoes for a long time. Not that I, can't go get it, but like, but there are some people and accounts and things that I've had to mute lately. And I know Bailey has had to as well.
Yeah, lots of muting.
I can't handle it.
Yeah, it's me. It's obviously a me problem. We say it all the time. But some of it's even just like relationships that no longer fill you, or situations like friendship breakups or whatever. And you see these things popping up, like their face or a name. A name can so much trigger me and my anxiety to like, oh my gosh, what does she think about me? Is she mad at me? Or da-da-da. So like sometimes, like when you mute people, I used to think, oh, that's so immature. That's so, just like get over it. But like, it's your peace.
Yeah.
If it's stealing your peace, and it's not them, it's you. So seeing someone's face or name or something that associates with them, if that lights a little anxiety fire in you or gets you a little uneasy,
you just got to remove it.
Remove it. And that's okay. Like there's nothing, it's not to say you don't like the person, but it's something about it that's
or what they're selling your peace. Or what they're
or if it's another business that
belief
is the same as yours, say you just keep comparing to. I do it all the time to salons around me. I'm like, they're better than me. Look how much better they are. They do hair better than me. They must be happier than me. All this stuff.
Or even the flip side, you could look at it and be like, I do this better. I do that better. They won this award. This person switched from me to them. Why did they do that? And then you play the other flip side of it.
See, I don't do it. I'm all...
Ever?
No.
I feel... But
I
as
am
human
so
beings,
like...
Negative?
Yes. I'm never like, I'm the best. I'm never there. I am self-doubt.
Man.
Like 100% like... self-sabotage, comparison to thief of joy, even to salons in California. I'm like, I'll never be that. Like, it's more of the enemy is just in my mind, like telling me.
I hate that for you.
Yeah, I know. It's not good.
You really aren't great at what you do.
Thanks.
And like a lot of things.
But it's not, I mean, that is for me. So like, it may take me muting or not following other businesses similar to mine to stay in my own lane and focus on
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. And like what is in front of me. And I think it's just so important to just realize that and know that it's okay. Like sometimes I have somewhere to grow in, and being able to just be fully confident in my business and where I'm at. And right now, what serves me is to not be scrolling and looking at what other people are doing.
Yeah.
At one point it was great because it could inspire me and it gave me like goals and And that, but like where I'm at right now, it doesn't do like healthy things for me.
So I think it can ebb and flow too. So it's it's totally having a healthy relationship
and knowing like where you are.
Well, I think we talked about this even like close to the election. It was like once you decided who you were voting for, like you really you don't need to watch the news
to get.
You don't have to have whatever news channel that's close to whatever political party you're at, or the one that's very.
You don't need more information. You don't need more information about what the other one's doing
because you made your choice. Yeah. And like, what was it gonna do? Give you anxiety and like
worry,
fuel,
fear,
fear, and conversations of like, well, what if?
Yeah. And that's
rather than staying in your own lane, making a decision for yourself. And if you did need to be educated more on it, go find out.
Right. Go search for that in the right places. Because sometimes
with
like,
the right foundation,
you know, and like trusting where it's coming from, because you can go search for something on TikTok and you're going to get both sides. You're going to get like really passionate people about one way and really passionate people about the other way. It's kind of just like trying to have a clear mind and like figure out, what do you believe? What works for you? So we were talking the other day after I went on Sunday, I went to church and I go to St. Timothy's, and if anyone ever wants to come with me, I always do this little drop. I'm always there at 9:45 on Sundays. But my pastor, his sermon was so like, it just like resonated with me so much, because me and Kristen just before this had been talking about like clearing out the noise, cleaning house. We just kept saying like, we got to remove the stuff that's not for us, remove the stuff. We are very focused on the removal. And like anytime we would like talk, it's like, see, there's that junk. It's getting removed. Like God's removing.
We're purging.
And it was so like, we did it. Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing this together. That was like one of our main even goals for the year. Didn't we say that on
Yes, and on the New Year's episode?
Yeah, like we were just talking about like removing things that weren't for us.
On New Year's Day, I like clean. My sister's like, you're not supposed to clean on New Year's Day. I'm like, oh well, this is what's working for me and this is what I'm doing. And like,
you're not supposed to do laundry or something on New Year's Day. It's bad luck.
I don't know. Whatever.
Good thing I don't do laundry anyway.
I did it. So you know what? If this is not my year, it's not my year. But so far, we're a few days in, and
everything's good.
Everything's going.
We're doing fine.
Better than I expected. But like, there was a shirt that just reminded me of a bad night, and I love the shirt. It's so cute, and I'm like, that shirt just holds a bad energy, and then it puts me in like a funky mood, and then I replay that night or that experience that I had, and it wasn't a good one. So you know what?
Shirt be gone.
Bloop, gotta go.
Yo, and that is like how I felt about the Instagram thing, because I was like, this could be such a good tool, obviously, for marketing, your business, communication, happiness, learning, like you said, even cooking, following someone who teaches you recipes, whatever it is. But it can also be so toxic if we allow it to be. But if you can like have a grip on the things you need to remove, like that shirt, like I have stuff like that in my house that like, I'm like, ugh, like it reminds you, get rid of it. Like, why are we keeping the shirt? Like, you know, like you're never going to wear it anyway. You don't outfit repeat. Who are we kidding?
I wore this outfit in New York, different jeans, but
well, get rid of it. It's gone.
It's cute.
Wait, not this.
Oh,
I'm talking about the shirt you got rid of.
But you just said I don't outfit repeat, and yes, I do.
Okay, so you do, but like, not if it's a statement night. I feel like it's usually on Kristen's closet.
Okay,
the next
grow
day.
up.
Okay, anyway, but okay, so back to it. We're focusing on cleaning house. Well, when I was at church, he was talking about cleaning house, and he literally said, like in the Bible, God calls it cleaning house. He pulls up the verse that.
What verse was it?
I knew you were going to say that. I have it highlighted on my Bible app, but like, I'm not trying to waste time. I'll find it before we go. But it talked about cleaning house, but his main point was filling the house back up with the Holy Spirit. And house being our body, our lives, whatever, removing all this junk, this stuff. He said, if you leave your house empty and open and clean, it gives all the other things room to slowly creep back in. So, and he was talking about like all different versions of this, but he's like, okay, say he used being an addict as an example because he was once an addict. And he was saying, oftentimes he was like, addicts quit all the time, don't they? They quit all the time. But they clean house, they quit, they say they're good, and then that's kind of where it ends, and it allows for things to creep back in, and before you know it, you're back in the old routine, and you're doing all these things.
And it may be something different,
yeah,
but
it could
it's
be
still
anything, but it's not good. So he was like really focusing on, you clean your house, but you got to fill your house with the Holy Spirit. You got to fill it with godly things. You got to fill it with goodness. If you leave it open and available, well, we already know the enemy's always sitting there ready to scoop in. If he sees an open house, an open, empty, clean house, he's ready to come in and fill it with dirt.
Well, I think, yes, if it's not on a good foundation.
Exactly. Like if it's just there and you're kind of just like, now what?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do now? But if you take the clean space and the clear mind and you fill it with goodness, there's no room for the other stuff. If you make room for God, and that was his main point, we need to make room for God in every area of our lives, at home, at work, in the car, when you're with your friends. Like, there needs to be room for him. And if there's not room for him, if the noise and the junk is too full and too loud, you're going to start seeing that flow into your life, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
So not only cleaning your house, but filling it, that really like stuck with me, because I'm like, it's so true. Like every time I get back on, like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm staying off Instagram. But when I don't fill that time that I was scrolling with something else, I'm bored. I'm sitting there. Well, what would it hurt? I get back on Instagram. Oh. When I fill it, I'm like, you almost clicked. I deleted the Instagram app, by the way. And day one, I told Kristen, I'm like, it is sick how many times I opened my phone, knew where the app used to be, and would go to click it, and it was not there. And I was like, okay, I have a problem. I am addicted to my phone and Instagram. Like, I'm sitting here, and out of habit, I'm going to click. I did it so many times, and I was like, okay, this is good. This has to happen, because yes, it can be a great tool, but it should not consume you.
Right.
And so every time I would go to click, I'm like, here are your options. You either can read a book or you can read your Bible. Those are your options. Now, unless obviously kids, but usually my downtime to scroll, the kids are sleeping or they're like, I don't know, watching a movie, and I'm sitting with them and I would start scrolling. So it was like, you can read a book or you can read your Bible or you can get on the floor and like play with your kids like you're supposed to. And I've literally read 3 books this year.
Already?
Yes. What day is it?
Excuse
January 8th.
You've read 3 books?
3 full novels. Because every time that shows you how much time
what hours of your life?
Evening.
Wow.
Like I usually start around 8 p.m. and read.
I'm impressed. Do you see me?
I told my mom that
3 books.
3 novels, like books, like full books, instead of scrolling on Instagram. And do you want to know how better I've slept, how much more peace I feel? And I'm still getting on Instagram, but I'm doing it
in moderation.
And I'm just like, my prayer right now is that I can like sustain this and not get back into my old ways and continue, because I've also been reading my Bible every morning before I'm even allowed to get on my phone. I'm like, you have to do your Bible study, period. It's non-negotiable. Like we talked about the other day, has to happen.
Right.
After that, if there's time and you want to have a little scroll sesh before the hustle and bustle of the morning, great. But there hasn't been time, because then someone's up and I got to start making breakfast and all this stuff. So it's like, it's removed me in a healthy way, and I'm filling the void with the word or a book. I tried to watch a TV show the other night, but I fell asleep like right when it started. But it's like filling my house with things that fulfill me, make me happy, give me peace, versus filling my house with toxic media.
Yeah.
And something that's always stuck with me in a course I once took, like a social media course, the main point of this was, you want to be a content creator, not a content consumer. So it's okay to get on and post. Like if you want to, like I like to share my kids, or I like to share something fun I did or something funny.
Let me ask you something. Sorry, can I pause you?
Yeah.
Why do you like to share your kids or something funny? Or
I like to do it for attention. Like, I'm going to be straight up. We all do it for attention.
Okay.
No one posts to not hope that someone like responds to it, or like it's
so
not just to put it in the air.
Right. So you're saying you get on, you post, you like to show that and whatever. But you're trying to minimize the time that you're on the media and the web.
Correct.
So when people do engage,
I answer.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I'll be like, I'm literally 7 days into my new Instagram journey. But what I also told Kristen, I found myself wanting to like post stuff and let me go get my phone. And then I'd be like, I'd go to get the app's not there. And then I'm like, why was I going to put that on my story? No one asked. Like no one was like, let me see that cup of coffee, girl, that you're drinking this morning and that aesthetic vibe that you think you have going on with like no one asked. So it was like, okay. So it was kind of this like, and every time since that I have posted on my stories, I'm thinking this like, is this valuable to anyone? Like, is this something people would actually want to see? And some of it I'm like, yeah, I think a lot of moms relate to me in this sense, or I have a lot of good conversations about this kind of stuff.
But does it really matter?
It doesn't.
So if it makes you happy doing it,
right,
great. And if people can't stand to see you, they can mute you.
Mute me.
Right? Or not follow you or whatever.
For sure.
Okay, let me throw this tidbit in there. I was having this issue because I don't even remember where I was at this point. It's not bothering me like it was, but this ate away at me for like 2 weeks, maybe longer. Someone had mentioned something about my social media and about my life and what they heard from someone's perspective of me. And I sat on it and I was really upset. And I'm like, that's what they think about me? This person really doesn't know me
at all. Yeah.
And I know that I only share like 1/4 maybe of my life.
Of the reality.
Yeah. And like nobody wants to show the days that they're like crying in their bathtub or like,
because it's like you want people to relate to it, but also like when you're crying in your bathtub,
of privacy and vulnerability.
Are you gonna take the phone out and be like, okay, I'm crying,
I got dumped? Like no, nobody wants to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like that hit me really hard, and for 2 weeks I sat on like, you know what? I got angry.
Yeah.
I did. I got a little angry and I was like, I'm just not posting. Like, I don't want anybody to see if that's
where
what
I'm
they're
at,
getting.
what I'm doing.
If that's what they're getting from whatever they're seeing, like, I'm just not doing it because I would rather just people not see anything than like be able to say that about me.
Make something up.
Yeah. And then I said this at a dinner table the other night with 2 people and they were like, we love seeing your outfit, or, you know, we like, you know, when you post that you're like out on a girls' night, because then it gives us ideas of like where to go with our friends. And like, you shouldn't stop doing that. Like, those people just don't know you. Let them. If they want to know you, they can.
Right.
If they would just rather just talk about it, like let them talk about it. I'm like, you know what?
Let them gossip about you.
Let them mute me. Or let them, you know?
Yeah,
let them.
It's true. My mom sent me this thing on Instagram the other day and I was talking about like people talking about you, and it was just saying like, if we can just let them talk about us and understand that no matter what, someone is saying something about you that's gonna ruffle your feathers, something that's not great, it's gonna make you sad, or it could just be like, oh wait, no, that's wrong, something is being said. If we can just accept to let them and know that their opinion of us doesn't matter, it's their business, they're gonna have it whether we try to convince them other way or not, it gives you this sense of peace to just like, I don't know, move on and just live in the you, what makes you happy. Posting your outfits of the day is so fun for you.
Yeah.
So if someone's going to...
I love it because I'm really interested in fashion.
Yeah. And if someone's going to be saying, oh, well, her outfits or whatever, like, and try to dull your sparkle, that's not fair.
Yeah.
You know? So just knowing your boundaries with Instagram and knowing what makes you happy on there. Like, I love showing my kids. I think it's fun. I love showing random mom stuff, random cute pictures of my dog, like whatever. I like doing it.
Yeah.
But it's about what am I consuming when I'm on there? Is what I'm consuming making me feel happy and good, or is it making me feel anxious and sad? Like having that boundary.
Right.
And like, let's be honest, Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, it's in our lives. It's not going anywhere. It's not like in 10 years.
Do you feel like Instagram, TikTok, and even like the news like puts us, or not even the news, because like we're saying, the news doesn't really talk about like the happiest, highlighted, whatever. Those other platforms do.
Right.
Do you feel like we cling to that a little bit because we want to like fall into this like safe space trap a little bit of like not seeing all the
like
raw,
being
ugly,
in like a bubble,
real life things,
like just being like,
yeah.
I'm in my I don't want to watch the news because I don't need to know. Also, Aaron will tell me as soon as I walk in the door what's going on, but I'm like, I don't need to know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know. I know this sounds probably really stupid sometimes, but I'm like, God's got me.
If I need to know something, he'll put it in front of me.
Like, Jesus has me next. Oh, that's happening over there. I'm going to pray for them. But it's getting twisted on the news to this whole other scenario that's not even happening.
And if it's not in your everyday,
it's
like affecting you, then does it need to affect you? Or does it need to take up space in your home?
In your heart and your brain and all the things. Yeah. I don't even know if I finished this story earlier, but that just like brought me back to it. But just talking about like bad things have always been happening, but now we have social media that shows us everything that's happening. And that's what we were talking about in the break room. I'm like, a lot of people are like, the world we live in today is so evil. And I'm like, it's always been this evil. We just didn't know what was happening across the country because
we're aware of it now.
There was no newspaper sending from California to Louisiana to tell us that there's fires.
And if it did, it was a month later by the time the mail got here.
Right. So it's like just knowing, like, now something happens, 30 seconds, it's on the internet. It's on the World Wide Web. You have access to it all.
Well, that was like when the attack happened in New Orleans. Like,
right.
I woke up, I mean, y'all, it was New Year's night. I went to bed at 3:15. The attack happened between 3:15 and 3:30, I believe. And I woke up that morning at 7:45, and I had texts from so many friends from all over the country that were like, I'm so glad you're not in New Orleans. I just tracked your location. I see you're at home. I hope you're okay. We had a text from a friend that said, I know y'all weren't in New Orleans last night, but an I'm alive text would be really nice just for me to make sure. And I'm like, I literally see that like while I'm waking up, and I'm like, what happened in the last 4 hours?
I know. But it got like, that's how quick it was out, like that quick.
Right.
But like years and years ago, that would have never happened.
No.
So, but there's always been evil. The devil's always been here, and the enemy's always been in these evil people. Like that man, like, that was an act of pure evil.
Yeah.
And it's just now we can read about it and we can see it. And then it triggers all new fears for us as like, oh my gosh, like that could happen to me. I mean, we were in that exact spot a week prior, standing on that exact spot. And it was just the reality of like, anything could happen at any moment. Like today is all we are actually right this second is all we are promised.
Right. So are we going to live in fear and not go back to New Orleans because of that?
Right.
Are we going to not go to California and take the trip or go visit someone because there may be a fire
or the plane may crash? Like, you just can't live in fear. And that's the whole bringing it back to faith and just knowing that like God has you and his plan for us is his plan for us. And like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So just like you can't live a fear-based life. And if the media and the news and TikTok and Instagram is providing you with fear, then you have to get off.
Right.
Or you have to set boundaries on there. You have to block accounts or stop following certain people or accounts that bring you fear or bring you those anxieties, because you cannot live like that. Like it'll eat you up. Like I have gone into some intense spirals worrying about what could happen to me or my kids. Like you hear these stories of all these horrible things happening, and it's very normal life stories. And you're like, that could be my kid at any point. That could be me at any point. And then you're like, what if? And then you get to a point you just want to stay in your house and never leave because you're like, how can I protect us? But that is not life.
Yeah.
And life is a gift. Like God has given us. So, I mean, you have to live, and you can't live in fear.
No.
And I feel like I was to a point where the media and all that was bringing me more anxieties than happiness.
Well, and even, okay, let's talk about this too. Like when you decide to take over your piece and right, we have these things that we're attached to and we see a lot and, you know, whatever. When you have removed a lot so you feel good.
Yeah.
And then someone sends you something not knowing that you've
this is the worst.
They don't know that
timer. We're on a timer today because we go too far. We go too long. No, that is the worst.
Right? Like you're like, I'm in a good place. Like I'm at dinner with my friends. You take your phone out just to like check the time and you see a message from someone with news that is disrupting your peace. And it's someone else that you talk to every day that like doesn't know that this thing was bothering you because it wasn't just a conversation you needed to talk about, right? And they send this to you like just like most of the time for just like light conversation or to just like present you with whatever or to ask a question and you see it and it triggers something. Again, it's a me problem. It's a self thing. But like that's really hard.
No, so that is the worst.
So why do situations like that happen?
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of like gossipy, like at least here's where I'm going with this. Like you unfollow someone for your peace. Okay. You remove someone because something about something about the relationship no longer brings you joy. Okay. And then you get the text. Did you see what so-and-so posted? Was this about you? Or did you see this? Look. And even it could be as simple as like a picture of them that makes you like, oh no. I'm anxious again. What's new? And there's just nothing worse than like feeling like I got this. Like I don't have to see it out of sight, out of mind. And then someone's like, check it out. And you're
okay,
like,
let me ask you this. Let's piggyback on our last episode because I touched on this. Do you almost think that is a, like, I'm just going to say the words because this is what we used on the last episode, living hell. Like you sinned, you made mistakes and like, this is almost the way of like a little reality check of like,
well, it could be, but the scenario I'm thinking of it's no. It's like, I think a lot of times, like, I mean, say there's something that happens in the community. People know the drama. The girls know, and they want to like send it and be like, did you see what she posted? And it's more of like stems from like a gossip type. Like, oh my gosh, look at this. Can you believe she posted this? And you had like,
but do you almost think that that's like a karma circle back? But what if you
didn't do anything?
Of maybe not to that person, but at some point in your life,
you talked poorly about
someone in a not in a similar exact situation, but like at some point along the line. So this is like you thought it was okay for you to do that.
I can see this, but I don't think God punishes us in those ways. I don't think God punishes us, but I could see this being like where the enemy creeps back in and is more like, nah. You did it once, you can do it again.
This is an interesting, I don't know.
Yeah, I just have been there where I know like I'm like, oh, removing that person, they don't do anything for my life. They steal my joy. And then someone like brings them back in and you're like, I thought I took them out.
Or even like I just am thinking like I remember, I don't know, a few years ago, like my dad was like watching this news channel all the time. And finally someone told him like, you are not sleeping at night because you're watching that until you go to bed. And then you're tossing and turning all night long because that's on the TV and you're worried about your wife and your kids and your family and the blah, 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 blah.
The things that are happening around us.
So he stopped watching and he was like peaceful. So much better. Yeah. And then, but if we're sitting at a dinner table and someone brings it up, he gets like heated
right back.
Yeah. And it's like, well, this is what I saw the last time I watched. Or did you see on this? And then it like,
it brings it right back.
I was doing so good.
I know. That's like kind of how I feel. Like, it's like,
you get so frustrated.
Yeah. So then I'm always just like, I just want to be like in a bubble. Like, I just want to be in a bubble sometimes because I don't want anyone to like shake my peace.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of should just be in a bubble with you and God and then go from there. I literally texted her the other day. I'm like, I just want to live in a bubble with Jesus. Like, I just want the nonsense out. I just want to be in a bubble.
But that's not living life.
But that's not real. It's not reality.
Can't be fearful of what the reality around us is.
It's not reality. And it's just like, really this year for me is going to be all about finding like true peace. I have tasted it. I have seen it. Like, I've had glimpses of it, but I'm 100% honest with the fact that I'm still like, I teeter-totter with, you got to just have faith. You got to let it go.
Yes, and you can make certain decisions, but the harsh reality is a lot of it is out of our control.
Pretty much all of it, really. You have this little right or wrong, right or left. You know, you make like these choices.
You choosing your peace, you choosing to watch the news or not watch the news.
Right.
You choosing to spend 1 hour or 3 hours on TikTok looking at one specific
topic.
Yeah, you know?
Right. And I'm not good at, like, once I'm on and scrolling, I'm scrolling. Like, I'm not good at, like, I've set the timer that's like, you've been on for, and I'm like, like, close the timer, keep going. Like, I don't have great control. And then I find myself watching stuff that I'm like, did I just watch someone do that for 15 minutes? Really? Like, really? What did that do for me?
Yeah, what did that do for me?
Did I learn anything?
What did I consume?
Did I, like, take something that I'm going to apply? No. Maybe I actually judged you a little and talked about you in my head, like, why are you doing this? And then I'm being ugly. So I'm like, I don't know.
What did that do for me or you or anyone else?
It wasn't good.
Yeah.
So I just found myself being like, there's not much that I really want to consume on Instagram that, like, fills me up right now. Seasonal, for sure. Because I'm sure though I can say this different in a few months. But I was like, it was just getting to be where I'm just like, this is not really doing me anything.
Yeah.
Not like how I felt when I'm reading a book. I'm like completely chill. I'm reading a story. Like, my mind is literally on the book.
Well, and like you're saying, you're going to bed and you're resting better and like
I'm just calmer
because
reading my Bible.
Because your consumption is different.
Right. And like when I'm like back being consistent with my Bible every day, like that brings me peace, and that I'm focused on it because it's hard to read. Okay. It's not.
Yep.
This ain't an easy read. Okay. So you got to really focus in, and I'm focused on it, and I'm reading it, and I watch my video after, and I'm for that 30 minutes, I feel peace. And like my hour at church, I feel peace. When I'm reading, I feel peace. So I'm trying to find all these things that I can honestly say, like, I'm not anxious when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And that's really important to me right now. I'm in a season of trying to navigate through anxiety. And if it brings me anything, any of those feelings, like, I have to let it go right now.
Right.
I just can't.
But that's really like mature and wise of you to
I'm trying.
Figure that out.
I'm really trying.
Because a lot of people will just keep like doing the same things that they're doing. And
I'm so tired of feeling. Am I going to cry? I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. You know, I am tired of feeling anxious and feeling worried and wondering what people think about me and wondering what this person's saying about me, or wondering if I'm good enough, or if I'm going to be successful enough, or if I'm a good enough mom. Like, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Like, I just want to know that I'm exactly who God made me to be and that I'm doing right by Him. And if that's like all I can do at the end of the day is do what I'm supposed to do, what He's asking me to do, then that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. Woo. You said we were going to keep this one light, but there I went. But truly, I'm exhausted. I'm just like, I can't hear it anymore.
Because again, when you get on these platforms, like, they can give you so much good, right?
It does.
Like, it does great for your business. You said you posted one story the other day and you got 3 clients just from posting one sentence.
Right.
You know, that's good.
We know it works.
That's
we know
really
it's good. Yeah.
But also there's a flip side to it that's really dark and negative.
Can be,
but
yeah.
That really isn't anything.
It's anything. It's life.
It's life.
Okay? It's not just Instagram. It's your daily life. You can be next to someone at your job that like builds you up and gives you all this, like, you're the best. Oh my gosh, I love working with you. And then you can
on the other side,
someone who's like, I hate this job. You're not good at it. Da da da. And then instantly those thoughts are in your mind, and you're like the person saying you must live this perfect life, or your outfits of the day, whatever. In that moment, you're like, I'm done. I'm not posting this anymore. And then you hear from someone else, I love that you post that. That helps me. That gives me positive joy in my life. And then you're like, you know what? Who cares about the people we're making upset? They can go be upset and figure that out on their own, because it's probably a them thing, right?
Probably a them thing.
They can go figure that out on their own. I can say that because I'm out here figuring my stuff out on my own.
It took me a long time to be able to open up and say, I'm not like, it's a me thing.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Because
2 years ago, I'd be like, she's just so da-da-da-da, and she just doesn't get it. But really, it's me.
Yeah.
Like, I have stuff to heal and work on that makes me see you and get triggered by your happiness or your, oh, she's never worried. She's never, not saying you because we both equally worry. But, you know, you
What it
see
looks like.
whoever this person is and you instantly are like, huh.
Yeah.
But it's you.
Yeah.
And if you can't heal that inside of you and work on that and focus on that, then people are always going to ruffle your feathers.
Right.
I'm sick of people ruffling me for no reason. Like, I just want to be like, good for you. Or have peace with that they don't like me.
And that's okay.
Have peace. Not everyone's going to like me. Why does everyone have to like me? Literally no one has to like me besides Jesus and my husband because he's stuck with me. But my kids don't even have to like me at some point in their life. They'll go through stages of hating me too. It's just like, we can't people please. And that's my thing. I'm always like worried about the people pleasing and people pleasing myself from stuff that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do we need a part 2?
Who knew this was coming? But it's here. Basically, find stuff to fill your house
with joy.
That is going to make you happy and feel peace. Fill your home, though. You have to fill it.
And with
Clean
things that are going to bring you closer to God.
Yeah, you have to fill it. Like, Kristen has some new ventures coming up that she's going to be filling her spare time with, and we are talking about it, and I'm like, this is what the Lord wants you to do.
Yeah.
He didn't open up all your schedule on this day and this day for you to not do anything.
Right.
And to self-loathe maybe.
And now they're going to be non-negotiables. That
these are things on your new calendar that are filling you with
positive joy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So it's like
for God's work.
Clean your house, but fill it up. Do not leave it empty because emptiness does not get you anywhere. Having an empty, clean house feels good for a second.
But fill it and consume it with goodness.
Yeah, because before you know it, the mess is back. I mean, anyone with kids, you clean your house 50 times a day, right? You clean it. It looks amazing. You feel peace. You're like, huh? You open your eyes and the toys are everywhere again and everything's right back dirty again. And you're like, instantly like, oh my gosh, like crumble again.
Frantic.
Don't let that happen
in your life.
Clean your life, your mind, your soul, and fill it with things that matter. Fill it with goodness. Fill it with Jesus.
And we don't have it figured out. We're trying to figure it out too.
I am currently trying to fill my home.
But you're not alone.
So if y'all have ideas.
And Bailey filling her home looks different than me filling my home. So
yes. Find your purpose. Find your things that make, really, it's just like I'm seeking peace this year. Like I want to feel peace and know that my day and my life, my day-to-day life is filled with things that bring me peace. And I mean, even just like, how many times have I said I don't have time to work out? Okay. But you have time to scroll for 2 hours. Like, if you add up all the time you scroll, it's probably like 2 hours a day. What?
You have to make it your non-negotiable.
Like, you don't have time to do this, but you have time for nonsense. Like, I can't have that anymore. So it's like.
But you could scroll while you're on a walk. You could listen to an audiobook while you're on a walk.
Yes.
And that is a form of movement.
Like,
just a thought.
Meshing things together. Yeah, it's totally able to be done. But it's just like, for me, like a lot of excuses, but I have these dreams of like, I want my day to look like this. Like, I want to wake up, I want to do this, and I want every day to be that clean and crisp. And I know that's not the reality. I'm understanding there will be things coming in, but I want to honestly just like respect myself more. Like, my body and getting that movement and eating the right way, which I feel like I eat pretty good, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to respect my temple, my mind, and my soul. And I just want to take care of it. And I want to feel peace through everything I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And so that's causing me to have some changes.
And that's okay.
Which are good.
Change is growth.
Change is growth.
So watch what you're consuming. The media isn't always good.
No, it's not. Just be aware of that. Like, it's cool if you want to watch the news and see what's like happening. I get that.
Yeah.
But then turn it off when you hear the news and when you hear what you needed to hear. Don't sit there and channel flop and hear what the two sides are saying and compare it and get yourself all worked up. Same for Instagram, like TikTok. Don't get yourself worked up. If you feel something inside of you getting worked up, it's probably not the best stuff for you to be consuming.
Nope.
So fill the house with the Holy Spirit.
All right, read us the verse.
Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. Instead, be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another with psalms, hymns, and songs from the Spirit. Sing and make music from your heart to the Lord. So basically, and this was just talking about, like, take away the nonsense and fill with, and he went really deep on, like, the singing and the talking with people and just different ways of how to fill your home with the Spirit. And just, it's really simple. Like, he was listing off things and I'm like, oh, good. I do some of that. Like, even just this podcast, us talking to each other and people hearing us, this is filling our home with the Spirit, you know? And when we sing and when we just have these joyous moments, it doesn't all have to be like, I read the Bible, so I felt my heart with the Spirit. It's so much more than that. Yeah. So just doing godly things that make you happy and bring you peace.
Amen.
Amen. We'll see y'all next time.